You know, anybody that follows this show knows that I have a heart and a desire to catch coyotes. This week, we're bringing in the new year. We're chasing my favorite animal, the eastern coyote. This is trapping time. Well, look who I got out of bed this morning to go check traps. Never gets old seeing those dogs bouncing. This is my story. This is my time. This is Trapping Time. Trapping Time is brought to you by Trapping Girl Incorporated, Night Owl Lures, Old South Lures, Southern Snares and Supply, Smokey's Deer Lure, Trap Shed Supply, Webster's Predator Control, Duke Traps, Wolf Creek Products, Sawmill Creek Baits and Lures. Well, we're checking traps New Year's Day, and right up here where me and Peyton caught that coyote yesterday, we got us another one. I love remakes. Well, these guys are always complaining I can't catch other remakes. I catch one in a coyote, I can't wait till the next day because there's a good chance I'm going to bust another one right there. This one here, I set this trap 2 nights ago, and I've already connected 2 nights in a row. That doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's a lot of fun. Look at that old dark dog right there. He's not too bad. I don't know if he's so much dark as much as what he's been rolling around in. But it's just one of them perfect spots. I come out here the other day. I've been setting this field. It's close to my house. Man, I hear these dogs in there all the time. Just want to catch anything. I mean, we're going on 2 weeks. I'm not catching anything. A fox here or there. And I thought, you know, I got to figure out where these coyotes are at. So I came up here the other night and I set 2 new locations. I set right here, and this is about the simplest set you're ever going to see. I basically punched a hole in the ground, put a trap in front of it, and 2 nights in a row I've caught 2 dogs. I got another set up over the hill here. I seen where coyotes were coming through the fence, so I punched a couple little sets in there, so I don't know what, I didn't catch nothing there yesterday. So, dog here don't look real good. His fur's kind of goofed up. But it stormed hard last night. We're talking 50-mile-an-hour winds, so I didn't think we was going to have anything when we come in here this morning, but we got fortunate enough. We got one so far. It's nice when you first traps you check, you got a coyote. It kind of sets the tone for the whole day. All right, let's get a closer look at him. Now this dog here's got things just a little more tore up than the one I caught yesterday. But it rained so hard last night, it was insane. But what we got here in the middle of this hayfield, there's this huge dirt spot. And like I said before, when I came in here, I seen coyote sign. Like, these coyotes are hanging out here, but why? So what I ended up doing, I came up here and I did these simple sets. Sometimes everybody wants to get crazy on these most elaborate sets. I don't want that. I want to come in here, quicker is better. I wouldn't even call it a dirt hole. It was more of a flat set. I come in, I punched a small dirt hole with my driver, put a little bit of gland lure in it. Now yesterday we had this coyote, we took it out of there, and what we did, normally I won't put any gland lure back in, but I'm working on a new gland lure that I'm trying to test out, and I put it back down the hole and connected first night with it. So that's 2 coyotes out of these sets. We're pulling our line tomorrow, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. We might get another one, but This is a muddy, muddy mess. It's going to be hard to get this one back looking good. We may end up moving the trap, punching one in beside it. Much as I hate to do that, but we may end up doing that just to make this set workable. Awesome coyote.
From the hills of West Virginia, Smokey's Deer Lures presents the first and only real pre-orbital gland lure in the world. Applying pre-orbital gland lure to a licking branch will allow you to take a complete inventory of the bucks at your favorite hunting spot. Get yours at smokiesdeerlure.com.
This portion of the show has been brought to you by the Duke Pro Series 550 Offset Cool Spring Trap. Be sure to check it out wherever Duke traps are sold.
Hey trappers, are you tired of stuffing the same old bait down the hole with less than staggering results? Then you may just want to give Back 40 Predator Bait from Trapping Time TV a chance. It's guaranteed to be like nothing you've ever smelled before. From its meat-based added essential oils, musk, and slight hint of skunk, it will have both canines and cats working your sets. Keep working from early season to late, a definite must in any trapper's bag.
Now, as you can see past me, right over here is where I'd caught this dog at a little bit ago. That's the second coyote I've taken out of there. All right. He's got it just an utter mess. I mean, it's bad. Instead of wasting my time trying to fool with it, it's going to be just as quick for me to punch in another set right here. So all I did, I came out about 8 feet from where that tore up place is, and I found a spot real similar to what I had happening there. There's a little bit of a flat spot, and it's a little gradual hump. I don't want to be all at the edge. I want to be in the middle because this seems like where all their sign and everything is at. They're staying in the middle of this. So we're going to stay right in the middle again. And this stuff, it's weird, especially for our location, this part of the country. It's really, really soft. So we're going to come in here and see if we can get a bed cut out with our cutter. And it's just so soft, guys. When I pull this up, that dirt's probably going to come right back out of the middle of it. Well, it's actually coming up. All right. We're going to save that. Now, you guys have always watched me. I usually just put peat moss right back over it. I want this one here to blend in as much as possible. As much as possible. And we don't want it real deep. We want it just below the surface. We checked over our trap. Yeah, it's a little bit muddy, but we're in good working order. No dogs are bent. Jaws and everything are going to fire good. I like to give it a little squeeze like that. Make sure everything's moving real good. And we're going to take our driver. Now, I usually have a little hammer with me, usually a 3 or 4 pound sledge. But this is what I normally use. We're trapping out of a side-by-side, so it's not like we're carrying it in. It don't take near as many hits. It doesn't wear you out as much. And that way, we can get moving on to the next one. We're not worried about trying to beat through rock and everything, because this thing will get through. All right. Give it a little tap for good look. Make sure these jaws and everything are clean. We want our pan as level as we possibly can get. I like to cut a little bit of a depression in here so this chain's got some place to go. Now we're going to bed our trap. We want it solid. Pack some dirt around the outside. I don't like packing right over the jaws. I want these things, we're using a smaller trap than a lot of you guys are using. So the less this thing's got to blow through, the better. We'll take a little bit of peat moss. Normally if I was in a grass situation, I would just leave this, but because they're in here for a reason, it's because of this black dirt, I want to blend it in. I don't want them hesitating at all when they come across this. Now we're going to cover it back in. Try and get that thing blended it back in as much as you possibly can. We don't want that hesitation. We want them coming in here and bam. All right, so we've got that part there done. Now our jaw lever is right here. I'm just going to come up right above it and we're going to punch a hole. I'm just making it big enough so I can pull the driver out. It may be the size of a quarter, maybe a 50-cent piece. And all we're going to do is put some lure back in it. We're not going to bait it up. It's not really a dirt hole. It's more of a flat set. If you guys want to, you guys use flat sets all the time, or you're looking to try something else, that's basically what it is. It's a flat set. Here's the only problem when you carry a bunch of lures, guys. You can never find what you need. There we go. That's always at the bottom. Phew. I love to smell that. I always say I'm going to grab a stick or something, and I never do. We'll use our bait stick to get us a little bit out of here. Now, it's kind of warm, guys, so we don't need a whole lot of it. There we go. Just enough. And don't be afraid to put a little at the top, too. Just to give them a little bit to catch. They're already going to be here, so I'm not worried about dragging them over, so we don't need a lot of lure for that. I want them enough lure down in the bottom that they work this hole and get caught. That is the remake on the Muddy Coyote. Simple sets like this will put just as many coyotes in your first head as the elaborate sets that take 20 minutes to make.
Catching those coyotes, it never gets old. Be sure to join us up after the break. It's a trapping time.
Well, you see, trappers are a special breed of people. We're dedicated, committed, and passionate about what we do and who we are. Each and every one of us has an intense desire to be the very best we can. So in the world of skinny jeans, man buns, and pumpkin spice lattes, sometimes you just have to stop, push back, and tell the world, that's not me. Whether you're from the far north or in the deep south, and anywhere in between, Southern Snares can help you succeed at getting the job done and being who you are.
Robbie Gilbert here, host of Trapping Time TV. Hard to believe, Season 5. We'd like to give a big shout out to all the fans who made this possible. To show our appreciation, we're offering 10% off our entire website from now until December 31st, 2019. Just enter coupon code TRAP10. We carry a full line of trapping supplies such as Duke traps, Webster's Predator Control baits and lures, Sawmill Creek, Trap Set Supply, Old South lures, Night Owl lures, and many more. Before your next trapping purchase, enter TRAP10 and take advantage of all the great deals at TrappingTimeTV.com. Hey folks, welcome to the Trapping Time Set of the Week. Hey, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is what I like to call tailgate talk. You know, we're on social media, and Facebook's been very powerful for our show. We've been able to reach out there and reach a lot of people. But we get a lot of questions, and I love answering questions. You know, when I first started trapping, there wasn't a lot of people out there that would answer questions for me. So anytime I get a chance to help somebody out, that's what I'm going to do. One of the questions I always get are, what's your favorite bait, and what time of year should you be using it? So what I did here, I gathered some of my favorite baits. I'm going to run through them real quick and tell you why they work good and why they don't. We're going to start with our early season baits, or all-around baits, what I like to call them. They'll work from day one to the last day because they're not over powerful. Some of the brands you're going to look at is Webster's Predator Control, his mice meat. Obviously, Trapping Time, my Pure Hop, and Old South's Rodent's Revenge. These baits, they're not super overpowering. They got a really good smell, but they work good when it's not as cold. As we start getting a little bit later into the year, we're going to start and grab some of our baits that have a little bit more reaching ability, such as our blackout bait. This is a personal bait of mine. I catch a lot of stuff on this. Another favorite, Sawmill, Final Step. You know, this is a bait that once we start getting into that November, this bait's really going to start kicking good, and probably to the end of the season. Now, when I say this, guys, that doesn't mean I'm going, oh my God, Robbie said we can't catch nothing to begin the season. That's not what I'm saying. All these baits that I'm going to show you will catch coyotes or predators from day one till the end of season. I'm just showing you from my personal experiences when they work a little bit better. Obviously, capital punishment. If you're looking for a bait that's an all-around good bait, whether it be for coyotes or cats or anything you're after, capital punishment's it. It's got a real nice mellow smell to it, but it's also got a lot of reaching ability. It'll reach out there and really bring those predators in. Now we're going to get into my favorite line of baits because we're getting into winter. Anybody that knows me, my favorite time of the year to trap coyotes, and we're going to focus on coyotes. Obviously, if it's working on coyotes, it's going to work on cats. But we're talking that November, end of November, December, even January. We're talking frigid temperatures, southwestern Pennsylvania. When it hits January up here, we're in single digits. We're going to look at Trap Set Supply, their winter predator bait. It's in the name, winter. If that isn't the easiest bait to know when should I use it, this is it. One of my personal favorites, Smokey's Deer Lure. You know, I cannot tell you how many coyotes I've caught on his wolf, coyote, and fox bait. It's loud. I will tell you that. It's loud. It's got a skunky odor, but here's the thing about it. They'll eat it. And when you're using a bait like that, a lot of times I don't like the rot gut, smells totally rotten type of baits, because it turns a lot of animals away and it gets you a lot of non-targets, what we all like to call trash, and the silver fox, you know, possums. We're not really, it's really not our target animal. And then probably my favorite bait, if I had to pick one bait that I'm going to go out and put up the most numbers with, it's my back 40. Developed this bait myself. Took a long time to get it kicking and firing where I wanted to be. A lot of trial and error. Put a lot of coyotes in the bed of the truck because of this bait. It is a little bit loud. I get a lot of times people go, it looks like sauerkraut. It's white. It's not red like your normal baits. A little process I do to get it to do that. But it gives a lot of people, that's one of the biggest questions I get. But probably my favorite bait. Works great from day one to the end, but it's a little bit stronger and a little bit more powerful when the weather starts to turn cold. Now, guys, if you use some of those tips right there, I know this was kind of quick and kind of brief, but if you use those tips right there, I guarantee you'll make your bait-making decisions and your next set on the trap line a whole lot better.
Hey, folks, be sure to check out our all-star lineup for the upcoming season. New for 2018 is the hard-hitting Blackout Predator bait. If you're looking for a beaver-based bait with some kick, this is it. We're also proud to add to the batting order our line of mouse-based baits. If you're looking for a mice bait so pure it's practically eating cheese in the container, then you will want to try Peyton's Pretty Mouse. Maybe you're looking for a bait with some long-range appeal for those cold winter nights, then you've got to try Peyton's Dirty Mouse. When you're serious about trapping predators like we are, then be sure to make your next purchase at TrappingTimeTV.com.
From the hills of West Virginia, Smokey's Deer Lures presents the first and only real pre-orbital gland lure in the world. Applying pre-orbital gland lure to a licking branch will allow you to take a complete inventory of the bucks at your favorite hunting spot. Get yours at SmokiesDeerLure.com.
Folks, if you use those little tips right there when it comes to bait, I think it'll make your decision making a little bit easier when it comes time to buy them and what you're going to put in the ground when you got traps sitting in front of them. Now let's get back to the coyote action.
Well, we just yanked that coyote out of that set, and I made another set up over the hill here. Not what I would consider a prime coyote location, but I seen a little sign where they were coming through the fence, and I stayed off the fence. If I was any type of snare man, you probably could have snared there. Of course, I'm in Pennsylvania, so it would have been cable restraints, and we'd have took an act of God probably to catch one right there. So I've been blessed to learn how to catch them with leg holds, so that's what I use. And we got a dog up here. Let's take a look at it. Quit looking at me. Now, as coyote trappers, we're always looking for that perfect set location. Sometimes you just can't find it. You know, here I am on the side of this hill. We know there's coyotes here, but you got to figure out a way to get them in the trap. And I just came out on a whim. I come out here, and this looked like about the most level spot I had that didn't have all the high grass around it. And I was fortunate enough to find there was an old, we call them ironwood trees. I don't know what you guys call them, but there was an old ironwood tree here that had been brush hogged off, but the stump was still in here. So I decided this is where I was going to make my set location at. So I came in here with a little bit of flat spot. I buried a trap and just punched a hole in at the base of that. I stuck some capital punishment down in there because these coyotes are hunting right now, so we wanted to take advantage of that. But it just proves that sometimes the perfect location isn't there, and sometimes you got to improvise. But what we got happening here is, that's actually my house right over here. I'm probably 400 yards from my house, so I hear these coyotes all the time, and this is normally where I hear them at. What we have here, we have an overgrown fence line that separates two big meadows, then goes into, which is basically a hollow, which is basically my woods. These coyotes are in and out of here all the time. I knew this fence line was going to drive them and basically direct them our way. It poured the rain down last night, and we had 50-mile-an-hour winds. We've already taken 2 this morning out of the same field. Peyton and I took one out of here yesterday, so we're definitely helping the deer population here where I live. All right, let's get this coyote out of here, and we'll do a remake, and I'll just show you how simple this set was for what I had to work with. All right, now what I'm going to do, now that we got our trap and everything's good to go with it, I'm going to pound our earth anchor in. I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer and get you guys an overhead view and see exactly what I'm working with here in this hole. That way you can get a better understanding of what we got happening here. All right, now we're going to take a little peat moss, and this is more for, this is what I've always done, is take a little peat moss, put it in the bottom there, and we're going to bed our trap back in there. And you guys all know I like to go levers forward. Make sure that trap is solid. All right, trap's not going to do the test, the finger point test, go all the way around it. Now we're going to cover it back up with peat moss. And I like my sets to be somewhat flat around it. I don't like a super big depression. There's already a little bit of a depression here anyways. I think that's one reason why this set worked as well as it did. Is because it's just a natural spot for them to put their foot in. Take all this garbage here and get it out of here. This set didn't get tore up real bad, so we want to keep it that way to try to keep it looking as natural as possible. Now, we're going to take our shears and start shearing some grass on there. I like to use dead grass whenever possible, but this is what we've got here, and this looks more natural. Now, because I'm using the smaller traps, I can't get into putting a lot of cover over top of it, because that's just more that I got to go, them small jaws got to blow through. One of the reasons I use those small traps though is because this, like I showed you guys earlier, I'm right by my house. My wife would kill me if I caught my dog at a number 4. So, alright, we've got that part there done. Now right here's our hole. Now this is actually a little bit farther back than what I normally do when I'm doing a dirt hole. And the reason why is because I'm on a steeper hill. I wanted to stay back because when this coyote comes up, if he's going to commit to this hole, he's going to have to step on it. All right. We're going to put a little more of what we had in it before. A little plug right there. Capital Punishment by Southern Snares and Supply. And guys, it doesn't take a whole lot. Jason Webster and I always say, guys, it don't matter how much you feed them, you're not going to make them any bigger. We're not here to grow coyotes, we're here to catch coyotes. And that is the remade set on this dog. New Year's Eve last night, and there wasn't a chance that that little girl was going to get out of bed and check traps with Dad. That's what it's about.
You know, last season was a lot of fun. We were fighting mud, but we kept after it and was able to stack up a lot of coyotes. Be sure to join us next week. It's going to be a bit of a surprise. You know, it's the last episode. You know, it's the episode we all hate to see come. You know, the great thing about a good show, sooner or later, it's got to come to an end. Episode 13 next week. Make sure you watch it and see what we have in store for you. Like we always say, we're keeping tradition alive here at Trapping Time.